Flow is this feeling of being completely absorbed in some kind of pleasurable and somewhat challenging activity. And the kinds of activities that tend to kind of get people there have really three core components. One, they have to be somewhat enjoyable. Two, the challenge needs to meet your level of skills. And then third, it's helpful and maybe kind of crucial for flow that you can track your progress somehow, that there's some sense of progress, that you're kind of getting better, meeting the challenge. We know from decades of research now that being in flow as kind of often as possible is really good for well-being overall. But we in our lab really have identified flow as a particularly good match for stressful periods of uncertainty, certainly including something like COVID-19. What actually gets people into flow specifically, it's hard to answer because it's different for everyone. But there are certain activities that are really custom made to create flow. And those are especially things that are essentially gamified. So that's games, like video games, but so can doing your daily work or gardening or cleaning, anything where you kind of feel like you can see your progress and it's challenging you even just a little bit is going to get you into that flow state. Flow is a really good fit for a lot of people because it is so individualized. I think there is a little bit sometimes of like put yourself in the position to kind of do something challenging and put a little bit of effort in before the flow kind of takes you. But if you can just get past that little bit of an initial challenge, then I think it's pretty comfortable for most people to get into that space. But if you're not finding that to be a successful strategy, or it's stressful to try to figure out what your flow activities are, maybe leave that aside and try other things. We know that mindfulness, for example, can be a really effective coping strategy. There are lots of tools in the toolkit you can use to feel better. And so if flow or mindfulness is stressing you out, put those down, try something different. Very often, there are big things you cannot control, but there's probably a lot that you could potentially control, like what are you spending your time doing? And see if there's something you can do, some way you can take control over this experience and find some good in it. If you are feeling overwhelmed and scared and sick and worried and you're not sleeping well, you're not alone, and there's a good reason you feel that way. This is a really difficult state to be in, this total uncertainty about the future and very little control over what we can do to actually, direct our own fate. That is not a comfortable situation to be in. No one handles that well. And so I think we're all, coping the best we can. We are largely in this together, and I think there are lots of ways that we can come out of this better and stronger than we went in. But even in the meantime, if you find yourself feeling like, it's not a good day, it's not a good week, it's not a good month, you're not doing anything wrong. That's just the nature of the situation. And many, many other people are with you.